Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome to the channel. I'm Michelle and I hope that you are going to enjoy all the personal development content that comes onto this channel. So I shared with you guys on my Instagram stories. If you do not follow me on Instagram, this is definitely the time to do so. My link is down below. However, on Instagram, I've been sharing with you guys how everything's been happening and what's been happening on my side of the island. One of the things that I did on a Q&A is share with you guys my favorite books that I'm currently reading at the moment. And one of those books is Overcoming Crisis by Myles Munroe. Now, a lot of you guys have requested that I do book reviews, and like I said, I really urge you to actually be able to get the book yourself and read it and get your personal revelation based on whatever it is that is happening with you in your life. So it's something that currently I am not considering. However, on today's video, I want to share with you guys a couple of pointers that I actually took from that book that I learned that I think would be so instrumental and so helpful for you in this season. So we are currently on a world crisis at the moment, and our lives have been forced to change in ways that we have never imagined to even happen, possibly now. And I think within a lot of people, there's quite a lot of uncertainty, there's quite a lot of, fear and all that's happening. And one of the things that we are actually realizing about this season is that crisis is inevitable and we can only manage it during and after. And on today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys Myles Munroe's 7 steps on how to actually manage crisis. These management pointers are to help you actually manage your crisis in different ways. So for instance, right now, a lot of people could be caught up in financial crisis, emotional crisis because the emotional health is not doing so well, family crisis because people might be sick or whatever the case is. But I'm hoping that these steps would be able to kind of help you navigate where you are and how you can actually be better during this crisis and after, and how you can definitely set yourself up for the better. So before we begin, I just want to put a disclaimer and share with you guys that these 7 pointers that I'm sharing with you are from the late Dr. Myles Munroe, and they're from his book Overcoming Crisis. And I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you will be able to possibly get the book yourself after the lockdown, possibly, and definitely read it. So let's get into it. Step number 1 is determine your needs. This was super awesome. By the way, I'm going to say everything was super awesome out of these 7 points because they definitely are. But determining your needs, basically, as explained in the book, it says that you need to be able to separate your needs from your wants, and sometimes we do have that quite caught up. The big question is, what are your needs? And do not mix up your needs from your wants. You need to be able to determine and differentiate between the two so that you are able to move. Because guys, in crisis, some people might not even have money for polony or cheese or the most nicest things ever, but they will only have enough money to cater for their needs. But you need to be able to determine those needs, because if you do not know what your needs are, you will find it so hard to actually manage that point of crisis, and you feel like you are in lack majority of the time, mainly because you haven't even really determined what your needs are, or you haven't really differentiated between your needs and your wants. Step number 2 is acquire only what you need. Again, super instrumental. Once you have determined your needs, it is definitely easier for you to start acquiring only the things that you need. So for instance, if you know that these are the things that you need in your grocery pack, it is unnecessary for you to go out shopping and start acquiring things that you are definitely not going to need because you're in crisis and you don't know how this crisis is going to last. And particularly for stuff that is happening like right now, as we are with the pandemic that has taken place, you need to be able to make sure that once you've determined your needs, you need to be able to start acquiring the things that are most important to you and your family at that particular time. Step 3, do not live beyond your ability. Guys, this explains itself, basically meaning that do not live above your means. If you know that because there is crisis, you cannot afford to actually live beyond your means. You need to be able to live within what is within your reach right now, because chances are, guys, with all the crisis that's taking place, you don't know what the interest rate is going to be in terms of borrowing money going forward. You don't know in the next coming year or two how are things going to be looking financially. So if you keep on living above your means, you are going to struggle managing and coming out of the crisis on a personal level. Number 4 is withdraw the unnecessary. Again, sometimes some of the things that we do tell ourselves that we need are not entirely necessary, and this season is for you to actually be able to withdraw yourself from the unnecessary. And guys, this also goes for relationships that you know that are friendships that you know that are unnecessary. Who has been checking up on you? Who has been there for you during this time of crisis? Who has really been looking out for you, saying, listen, how are you doing? Do you have enough money? How are you doing financially? Who are the people that are standing with you even through this crisis right now? And this is definitely an opportunity to actually see the real ones from the fake ones. So take that opportunity to withdraw from the unnecessary. Number 5 is delay major projects. Again, we are seeing, if you watch CNBC or any other financial channels, you will know that there's been quite a lot of talks about a lot of things going sideways, the market's going down. Now, when crisis hits, this is definitely the time for you to delay on major projects. For instance, if you had planned to buy an expensive car during the season, this might not be the time to do that, because that is a major project and you don't know if you'd be able to afford it. You don't know if you still are going to have your job, later on. You don't know if you would still be able to afford it. And I know that sometimes we talk about faith quite a lot, but do not have blind faith. And in this time, you need to be able to walk the necessary steps that would be able to ensure that when crisis is over, you are able to manage, or even during the crisis right now, you're not hitting rock bottom because you've made the worst decision. Number 6 is value your possessions. This is what Dr. Myles Munroe calls the kingdom principle. What you basically need to do is, once you've already determined what your necessities are, what your needs are within your life, you need to be able to manage that. I know one thing that we've been talking about lately for quite a lot of people that have cars is the ability of just every now and then going into your car, starting it, making sure the engine runs, moving it back and forth, whatever the case, so that you manage the assets and the things that you currently have in your home at this point in time. But this also goes for your house, also goes for your yard, for every single thing that God has blessed you with. You need to be able to manage it, mainly because when crisis is over, these are things that you are going to need. These are things that will be able to take you to the next level. These are things that will be able to assist you to bring you to the other side of things. So you need to make sure that you manage the things that you have right now. You manage your car, you manage your house, you manage your yard, and you're able to just take care of everything that God has graced you with. Number 7 is save, protect, and preserve your resources. Again, it explains for itself. Do you have a little to save right now, even in the crisis? This is definitely the time to even still continue to save, as long as your loved ones are sorted and you are sorted. If you do have a little bit of money to put aside, this is the time to start saving, mainly because you don't know where this is going to go. But again, this is also the time to be protecting, like we said on number 6, that you are able to value your possessions, take care of them, and make sure that they work for you. So guys, these 7 points basically just explain themselves, and I hope that you can take them from this video and expand them in your personal life and realize that there's a lot of things that you still need to work on currently, even during the crisis or after it. But you also need to make sure that within every single thing that you do right now, you are looking out for yourself in the now, and you are looking out for yourself a year or 2 or more from now. And you realize that crisis at some point is inevitable, but you can only manage it. And how successful you manage the time of crisis or after crisis rather would be able to determine how far you're going to come. And as we've been talking quite a lot, there's a lot of people, a lot of business, a lot of things that might not even reopen after the crisis is over and after everything that is happening right now is over. But we just need to make sure that wherever we are with whatever we're doing, we are being great stewards of what we have been given. And also guys, this also goes for your mental health. This also goes for your mind, for all the skills that we spoke about during the year. Are you in a position right now that you're continuously learning, especially if you have free time? And you guys know this is something that we've been advocating so much on this channel, as a matter of, are you still working on it? Are you still doing the things that you said you've always wanted to do? Are you still moving forward even in this moment, especially when you've been graced with a little bit more time? Or rather, especially if you're right now, you are seeing better and more opportunities in this time. So I hope that this video has been helpful and fruitful to you guys. If it has been, please do give it a thumbs up. Till next time, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you then.